Welcome back, focused learners. Let's just jump right into today's explainer because we have a truly fascinating framework to unpack from Evangelist Ruha Paul. We're going to explore the idea that prayer is not an instant, transactional event. It's not like flipping a light switch or sending a quick text message. Instead, it's actually a deeply biological, agricultural life cycle that requires a ton of patience. We're going to break down this entire process to see exactly how a simple thought ultimately transforms into a tangible reality. Okay, here's our quick roadmap of the process. We'll start with planting the seed, move into hidden growth and roots, look at visible signs and consistency, navigate the danger of quitting, celebrate the harvest of prayer, and finally, wrap up with prayer as a lifestyle. All right, kicking things off with stage 1, planting the seed. We have to begin at the absolute start, the exact moment the decision to begin is made. Luke chapter 11, verse 9 tells us to ask, seek, and knock. And as Evangelist Paul points out, every massive, towering tree you've ever seen started its life as a single, incredibly small seed placed into the dirt. Before you get any branches or fruit, that seed absolutely must be sown. So what does that seed actually look like in real life? The author calls it the burden. It's that gentle nudge, a conviction, or a deep longing that makes you consciously say, okay, I'm going to pray about this. What's so beautiful here is that this initial desire isn't just random. It's the start of a higher purpose taking shape. It might feel small, kind of insignificant, but it's the literal moment the farmer drops the seed into the soil. And once that burden is sown, we transition right into the next phases, hidden germination and developing roots. Which brings us to stage 2, hidden growth and roots. Now, we really have to talk about the psychological struggle of the waiting period. You're staring at the dirt, and it feels like absolutely nothing is happening. Mark chapter 4, verse 27 captures this perfectly. The farmer sleeps and wakes, the seed grows, and he doesn't even know how. Just because the growth is completely invisible to the human eye doesn't mean it isn't happening. We are so wired for instant downloads and next-day shipping, but agriculture, it just doesn't work that way. And this brings up a really stark contrast. If you're operating based on pure emotion, you'll be super fervent when you feel motivated, but the second those feelings fade, you stop. Relying on motivation will literally cause your seed to die before it ever breaks the surface. But on the flip side, consistency patiently endures that dark, hidden stage. You have to remember, hidden growth is still growth. Because while you're enduring that hidden stage, something massive is happening underground. Colossians 2:7 talks about being rooted and built up. Faith is your literal root system here. The deeper those unseen roots push down into the soil, the stronger you'll stand during those incredibly long, quiet seasons of waiting. You just start to know, deep down, that the work is happening. Eventually, tracking our progress upward, we hit a breakthrough. The shoot finally emerges from the dirt, leading to consistent plant growth. This shifts us right into stage 3, visible signs and consistency. We're moving into the rising action now. Hope finally appears, but it brings a whole new set of challenges. Habakkuk 2:3 hits the nail on the head. Wait for it, because it will surely come. And then, boom, you get that first tiny green shoot breaking the surface. This is your early visible evidence. Maybe circumstances subtly shift, or an unexpected door opens. It's not the fully grown tree yet, for sure, but it is absolute proof that life is moving. But here is the critical catch. This new shoot is incredibly fragile, kind of like a newborn baby. It needs constant care. If you get distracted by the busyness of everyday life, all those outside pressures will pull your attention away. Consistency is the actual water that sustains it. Without that faithfulness, your new little shoot will dry out and snap in no time. Now we hit a major pivot point with stage 4, the danger of quitting. This is the climax. It's the ultimate testing phase where so many people critically misunderstand the biological process. John 15:7 talks about asking and receiving as you abide. So as the plant matures under your care, something amazing happens. Flowers appear. You're thinking, yes, we're almost there. But then unexpectedly, the flower falls off. If you don't understand spiritual botany, this looks like complete devastation. Let's clear this up right now. The falling flower is not a sign of failure. It's actually a strictly necessary biological step to get to the harvest. If you feel like you've been putting in the work for years and suddenly everything just falls apart right when it looked good, Be encouraged. You haven't lost your progress. That flower falling away is exactly what makes room for the real fruit to grow. And this perfectly illustrates a really tragic near miss. Imagine you're at day 99. You've been faithful, you see that flower fall, you get heartbroken, and you give up in total despair. What you completely fail to realize is that the answer was arriving on day 100. We rarely know the exact timing of a breakthrough, which is why you absolutely cannot abandon the process right at the finish line. Because if you hold on, you reach stage 5, the harvest of prayer. We've made it to the resolution, where the long-awaited fruit finally, tangibly arrives. Galatians 6:9 is the ultimate summary here. In due season, we shall reap if we do not lose heart. What started as a tiny, invisible seed is now an undeniable harvest. All that dark waiting, totally worth it. But Evangelist Paul points out a very sneaky, hidden danger that comes precisely with this success. And it's this trap of human pride. When the harvest comes, it is so dangerously easy to think, wow, my powerful words and my amazing consistency forced this to happen. Nope. Humble gratitude is the right move here. The farmer waters the dirt, but the farmer does not make the seed grow. True success isn't just getting the blessing. The real fruit is how this entire process transformed you from the inside out. Which brings us to our final stage, stage 6, prayer as a lifestyle. So, how do we pivot from celebrating a single victory to making this a permanent way of life? Let's rapid fire through these brilliant takeaways. It shifts from a duty into an actual relationship. It becomes your very first response, not some desperate last resort. It becomes this 24-hour awareness that turns wherever you're standing into an altar, carrying an atmosphere that literally influences the world around you. I really want to emphasize this profound quote from Evangelist Paul as the ultimate empowerment for you today. When you master this life cycle, when you understand the dirt, the watering, the patience, you are no longer a victim of your circumstances. You are not called to be changed by every situation. You are fully equipped to change those situations. So I want to leave you with this provocative thought. What stage is your seed in today? Are you just now feeling that tug to plant it? Are you stuck in the agonizing hidden phase, wondering if anything is happening? Or are you staring at a fallen flower on day 99, right on the verge of giving up? Find where you are in this process, keep watering, and whatever you do, do not stop. The harvest is coming. Thanks for diving into this explainer with us, and we'll see you in the next one.